It's over.
Speaking of no cuts, why don't we move on to Dominaria Remastered? Which, Josh, you have a great take here.
Wow. 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 Whoa. Welcome to MetaZoo with you, America's most alcohol-filled Magic the Gathering podcast, apparently. I'm, of course, joined by the home team drunk, Josh.
Drunk,
okay, that is not fair. I am completely sober.
Drunk Santa, Josh.
Yes,
hometown
drunk
team.
Santa, Josh.
The glass is full, guys. The glass is full.
Yeah, that's not your first one, and we all know it. I'm also joined by the man who has 99 problems, and they're all sleeving. Louis DeGeorge.
It's been a while since you've made fun of my sleeving.
Last week, you were very defensive about your sleeving.
Yes.
On the podcast?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, or lack thereof.
With your deck, with your
stop. Yeah. Okay. Different.
Yeah.
Different.
And so like, and it hit me after the fact. It's probably because you still don't know how to sleeve cards, and that might be part of the problem. So it's on us.
You want to know? I haven't sleeved a card on camera since that stream of which you made fun of me for sleeving.
You folded the card in half and jammed it into a semi-rigid as hard as a human can.
Unfortunately, we are also joined by George from Compete Sport below. Always has an opinion about things. So welcome back to the podcast, everyone.
That's
so
true.
Glad you're here. Happy Friday morning. Hopefully you're at work getting through the rest of the day. And
hopefully you're not unemployed. Thanks, Louis. Way to rub it in their face if they are.
And thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to talk about all things Magic the Gathering. We've got a couple indie TCG things to talk about too.
And a special topic.
And George has some
super
special
secret topic.
We're going to talk about
Secret Santa?
The Phyrexia all will be one spoilers. We're going to talk about distribution having no cuts on Magic product right now.
Or Pokemon.
Dominaria Remastered. Pokemon's goat. Dominaria Remastered. Cryptic beer, sorcery scoopties. We had a great conversation about sorcery today. That'll be a surprise for Josh. That'll be fun.
and wait, Louis, in your defense, you did send him 2 texts that were misspelled and had no context.
3 texts.
You are, which by the
misspelled.
way, were drunk texts for sure.
No, they were not.
100%.
They were just late night. Okay, and Pure Imagination Studios for a MetaZoo. So let's hop right into it with some Phyrexia spoilers. What do you guys think of the Phyrexia spoilers this week?
Go ahead, George. Hit him with
that
it.
Jace looks awesome. I love the black and white. I love the black and white cards.
Black and white cards are pretty sweet.
The Jace just came out today. That's crazy.
I know. That's why I'm excited. That's why I'm most excited about it.
Okay.
Nissa looks good. All the art looks great. I love the black. Do you like the black and white? Probably not because it's Magic. But like, do you like the black and white, Louis?
I think everything looks great.
Who guessed? Who would have guessed?
I think the black and white lands in the complete version look pretty cool. I'll pull them up right now for those of you who are watching. The Phyrexian lands look pretty cool from the complete edition.
Wow. I'm gonna fud it up here for a minute.
Okay.
I don't love that product.
Why not?
When you look at the Magic the Gathering offers, I want you to find the person who's like, you know what they need? Another product per set.
And then they just put in these things that are exclusive for that set just to be able to justify it. Just say,
who's buying the bundle now?
It moves.
And it comes out 2 weeks after the bundle.
Yeah.
Who's like? By the way, I want to go back to fat packs. Can we talk about that for a minute?
So
I am fat, and I say it's not offensive. Everyone,
you want to eat
out of the way.
You want to ETB up Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, getting rid of calling you a fat pack was the worst thing they've done since ruining Jumpstarts.
It was a product that really spoke to me.
Definitely happened before they ruined Jumpstart.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, before. Oh, that's from before. Yeah.
I think the set looks pretty powerful. There's already been some.
Won't take a skin a fat pack. What a bold move you are. What a bold man.
I took a massive stand. I said, I am fat, and I say it's not offensive. We should call it fat packs.
Good. I'm with you.
I made my opinion known. I think the set looks really strong. There's been a lot of conversation about Pioneer and some pretty push cards in Pioneer. I just don't like the multiple variants. I think how many borderless versions do you need? I think it's going to be in some of them, like the Elish Norn, that is what are the types? You've got the The Praetor version, which actually looks cool. That one's actually cool. That's the actual concept ones.
Yeah.
And I think like those all in a line look really cool. I don't love that they reprinted Sherald, which was just in Dominaria United. Like that was like a chase card in a set one set ago. It was the last set. It's actually Sheoldred. Sheoldred, is that how you pronounce that, Josh?
It is. And by the way, when
is.
you're doing like a live gameplay stream and that card comes down and you're like, Cheryl,
I just call it Sherald because why not?
I call it unbeatable into aggro and you just lose. So.
Like, I don't love that. Like, I think like you have a chase card in one set, and like, why does it have to be a card in like the very next set? That's a little wild. But I do like those borderless Predator, those concept art ones. But like, I just don't understand why you have to have multiple borderless ones. And the other two borderless ones are also like the artwork looks almost identical. It's just like black and white. They're like the same card, but like a slightly different camera angle, and like the graphics look slightly. It's like moving from like the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2 when you're playing in 2023. Like it's like next year when you know, like the graphics are so bad.
That's fine.
Like,
I was like,
really
that jump was crazy, man. So a couple things to unpack here. The Sheoldred coming out in this product like makes sense because you know the whole Phyrexian theme, like that. I get it. But man, doesn't that feel weird? Like if it sticks around in standard a little bit longer, and like why we have one, and you can get a box where you can pull one for $80 on Amazon like right now. So like, go get that. So that is super weird. And as far as the variants go, you're just right. Yes, go to yes.
Don't listen to Josh, who apparently hates your LGS and his sponsor.
Yes.
And LGS is, I mean, you might as well buy it on Amazon too, because it's like, you know, between $10 and $15 cheaper than your cost on Amazon.
I'm about to say, look at me getting my sponsor value and teaching them where to pick up boxes. God, I'm so great. The number of variants though does prevent. Like you get the everything is special, so nothing is special, and it like you pull one, you get hyped for a second, then you realize it's very Pokemon-esque. It's the second best Charizard, and so now it's worth $2. But if it was the best Charizard, it was $150. Like it's just there's so much to track, and you can't keep your own single store. And I know everyone on this podcast likes starting up single stores, so man, it's just tough. I'm sorry. Is it not Pokemon?
Look at Louis' pain face when you brought up how Pokemon does the same thing.
Pokemon does the same thing.
They do not.
Look at the agony in his face.
I opened a box of Pokemon for the first time with you at like 3 a.m, and you explained, no, if you would have got this one, it would have been worth it.
You get the alt art. There's like one alt art of the version. There's not 5 alt arts of the same card.
I think there was like 4 Charizards I was chasing in that box.
I don't remember the context of that.
Here nor there.
I agree with you 100%. Like
3,
when nothing
4, 5, 6, 7.
Can we get Louis? How quick are you with the Charizard counter on the
podcast?
There
are 7.
Can we also get an edited
Charizard
ding?
V released in the last year.
Sure. Okay.
Go ahead, Louis.
Yeah, one of them was in a like you buy.
Oh, don't get off on the charts. See, now I'm sad.
Buy the kit and it comes with 3 of them. So 3 of the 7 were in a.
No. I didn't include V Max or V Ultra. Want me to include those?
Okay.
When everything is special, nothing is special. You were saying, Louis?
Yeah, Charizard sucks. I agree.
Okay. Yeah. When everything, what were you saying?
Charizard is the worst Pokemon. Who would win in a fight, Charizard or Elishnorn? This is the real content right now.
That's a real conversation. And I got to take Elishnorn.
I'm taking Elishnorn.
Yeah, I'm taking Charizard in that. No, what are you? Listen, George, you're so
what?
Right,
no way.
You're such a Pokemon shill, George. It's disgusting.
I want to hear George. I want to hear George justify that statement.
Like, we're talking about Charizard V, Charizard Ultra, or Charizard Max.
I am Boomer. There is one Charizard. That is it.
All right. Then Charizard loses.
Charizard's like 4 foot tall. Have you ever seen him stand next to Ash? He's like 4 foot tall. That ruined Pokemon for me for the rest of my life.
That has not been my experience talking to you, in case you were wondering.
I mean, I love Pokemon still.
Okay,
but like Pokemon was up
when
here.
When did this become a Pokemon podcast? What is happening right now?
When we thought about Elishnorn fighting Charizard, I'm definitely Team Elishnorn on that one.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Josh. So like everything's like when you print that much of it, it just makes it not special. And then like to put these products in specialty products, I think we talked about this a little bit, I think last week or the week before. I just think it's kind of lame. Like I think you should, I'm okay with higher pull rates in different products, but I think you should be able to draft the game, play the game, draft it, be at your draft, and like pull the best card and pull a really cool, interesting card. Whereas like, I don't know, it just seems weird to separate everybody all the time.
So I think there's an exception here, and I think it's the lands. I know you weren't necessarily talking about, that product distribution, but I want to talk about a product that you can only get in something that would be otherwise undesirable. And there's a world where that works. Yeah, no, these lands are otherwise, there's too many special lands right now, George. They're not that special right now.
No.
But,
that's not my point. My point is they should have just put these in the fat pack.
Yes. They're in the special fat pack.
They're in the special fat pack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rid of the special fat pack. You guys have regular fat pack.
Yeah.
So as Josh was getting to his point, when we have these many things and these many variants, it doesn't work. It worked in Zendikar when you had the first Zendikar when full art lands were in the fat pack and or in the bundle and you could get these full art lands and there wasn't a million.
Please be careful, Josh. That's offensive. Continue.
That's fine. And there wasn't a million different variations of everything. Now that there's a trillion variations of everything, I'm definitely not incentivized to go out and get these lands. In my opinion,
had the snow lands.
Kaldheim
had snow lands.
That
And
was
and Modern Horizons 1. Modern Horizons 1.
That's where I remember them
sexy snowlands.
That like people went nuts for those snowlands.
Dude, they're good. I still have a stack of them from when I was opening the Modern Horizons 1. It's cool.
So how about this? How about they do a secret layer with Phyrexian lands last year, and then they come out with this set with Phyrexian lands in the booster box? That's one of my favorite comments.
Lands was still on top in the secret layer this year.
What?
They should do that.
This
Phyrexian lands with snow on top.
Phyrexian snowlands.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Mark Rosewater's on.
One of my
Come on, listen to this one.
One of my favorite comments from my comment section this week was a guy who was like, he spent like $300 on Phyrexian lands on the secret layer. Because like it was supposed to be special, right? Like Magic says themselves, it's their collectible product.
No,
like they say that themselves. Like
if
he buys
$300 on land,
and then
you need to look inward, not outward.
Like let people enjoy it for how they want to enjoy it.
No problem.
Like,
no complaint about it.
Man, like then they put these in here, and I was just like, I get that. Like I wish that never happened on the back end. They're like. It would be hard to make an argument that they look better in the ones in the secret layer. It'd be really difficult to make that argument.
But they're different. They're unique, at least they're unique. It's not. I would have a huge problem with this, Louis, if it was the same land card.
Yeah, they're unique in the way that like their mom probably thinks they're unique, but like everybody else who looks at them is just like they're kind of just lame.
Wow.
We're getting into some issues tonight, Louis. And how did that make you feel?
That hit home for me. Well, I'm listen. I'm a special.
I can switch horses,
and everyone loves me. Stop it.
What are you doing, Louis?
A delicious IPA from Stone Brewing. We're going to talk about Cryptic beer coming up in a couple minutes.
You want to talk?
What
about
a weird
now,
second teaser.
It's just lands I do like. I really do like the one with the giant spider, the swamp with the giant spider.
Yeah,
I think those ones look pretty cool.
That whole set is just bonkers.
Yeah. I love the black and white stuff. I love those black and white cards. Those
black and white
really
cards are cool. There was a secret layer that had those recently. Louis, you and I were talking about there was a Thoughtseize in there. It was a mono black secret layer.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
That was cool.
Again, though, you have like multiple different versions that are even in the like the inked one, the black inked ones. I forget exactly what the name of that version is.
I don't know. I mean, like,
there's just so many different versions. It's impossible to keep up with, and that's frustrating.
And they always just fall by the wayside, right? Like, look at Adventures of the Forgotten Realms.
Yeah,
like a bunch of that stuff just fell by the wayside. That no one cares.
I mean, they have a problem. They have they have a lot of SKUs, and they don't want to cross-contaminate the SKUs apparently. Yeah. Right, that's been clear. Like they don't want you to be able to buy a draft box and get something in the collector box, or at least not the desirable cards in the collector box. You guys might hate that, but that's clearly their strategy.
Yeah.
So like the problem is like if you want to have let's go back to Shattered Glass Transformers. Well, you're gonna have different versions in these different products. So you don't want to have the good ones and the cheaper products according to Wizards. So I think this is kind of this is a problem. This is a consequence of having so many SKUs and not wanting to have same pulls across too many SKUs.
Especially when, you know, some of those SKUs don't really have a purpose right now.
What a unique take.
I mean, they don't like.
I mean, I think that is a unique take. I don't think there's
That's
a lot
not
of
a unique take.
I don't think there's a lot of other content creators on the internet right now saying draft boxes don't serve a purpose. Maybe there are. Maybe I'm unplugged. Maybe I'm not in my YouTube bubble like I should be, George.
Draft boxes are the worst argument you have because they serve exactly one function, and it's literally the function in the name.
Yeah. And your store does that.
Every store drafts.
A lot of stores.
Every store drafts.
Listen, draft boxes, you can't argue. I hate it when I have to agree with George. You cannot tell me that draft boxes aren't important. They're
what do these re-release boxes even really do for the game, Josh? I mean, like, it's crazy.
I'm aware. Go watch my video. I say get rid of set boxes, George. I agree with you.
I will never. I don't want you.
I know you won't. I don't care.
No. Go finish your drink.
All right, Josh, I want to talk about card game. Do you think Phyrexian Obliterator is going to make waves in Pioneer? Because that's been the discussion in my store's Discord. Do you feel like it's going to make waves in Pioneer?
I mean, look, it's going to go back and forth. You're going to have those that say it's going to break the game. You have those that are going to say it dies to removal, right? That's the standard argument you hear against creatures like this. But it comes down and it presents a threat. It exists there. It does the exact same thing in my mind as Sheoldred already does, right? It seems like it needs to be dealt with pretty instantly, right? It needs to be dealt with almost right away. So it's going to see some play in lists. It's going to be there. I don't think it's going to be game breaking. I don't think it's going to be ban worthy, but it's going to be out there.
Yeah.
Like Leyline Binding is a card in Pioneer right now that we're going to see a lot more play as the format slows down, especially if the format's going to be built around more 4-drops like this. Leyline Binding is just going to get so much value on stuff like this. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good card. It's going to be fine. It'll make its way into some lists. It's not going to break it.
Yeah, I don't think it's broken either. I think it's going to be fun, though. I think that it's going to clock up some cool builds and make the format even more interesting. We've been really enjoying Pioneer at the store. So cool. All right, you guys done with Phyrexia?
Yeah, I just mono black and black red, Rakdos, mono black don't need that many more things to stifle aggro. Like all of their cards have some like non-consequential life gain already on them. Like you got Graveyard Trespass, you got Sheoldred, you got Kalidas. Like all these cards have non-consequential just existing life gain. You already can't play aggro and like, let's really shut it down some more.
Right.
Screw you, Grohl, Atarka's command that I'm trying to make work.
Not happening.
Sorry, I'm mad.
All right, let's go on to some store stuff. At the distribution level, we are really seeing basically no cuts, and this is across the board, Pokemon and Magic. As stores are ordering less, maybe distribution had already committed to quite a bit of boxes. And so where previously, especially last year and in 2020, especially when you ordered, you would get like heavily cut and heavily allocated. And so now stores are getting all the boxes that they are asking for. George, how does that clear up some issues?
So I want to be a little careful here. That's probably not true for all stores. I'm sure some stores are getting some cuts, but like a lot of stores aren't getting many cuts, if at all. In fact, like Distro still has a lot of boxes of some of the things that haven't released yet that they need to push. I mean, like, listen, I think this is going to change the game, right? I mean, like, before you'd have to order an absurd number and hope they cut you to the number you actually magically wanted. Well, now I get to ask for the number I want. And this is going to show where the market really is to distributors and to WotC and to Pokemon. And it's up to WotC, mainly, frankly, WotC, to like adjust to that. Now, in their call that Louis loved last week, they said, Louis' favorite phone call is how we'll forever refer to it now, by the way. They said they mainly print to demand. So they get orders from distribution and they print that number of boxes. That's what they said. You can call Mark Rosewater's aunt a liar. That's fine, Louis. You've done it before.
Mark Rosewater was too busy to show up to the meeting.
You said about his aunt.
Mark Rosewater was too busy to show up to the meeting. He had a late night at the cocktail parties.
That's a hot take. That's a good take. Why are these people not inviting them to, hey, read this statement? right? Why are we not getting some people that we're more familiar with in that? I know this is off topic, but Louis, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Hey,
because
man,
it wasn't
you
for
work
us.
for us.
It was for the investors.
Right, but you'd still
don't
think
know why
you
people
could
don't understand
introduce
this.
someone who's, but you can say I'm introducing someone who's been entrenched in Magic, who's been around for its design for a long time. Like you could have hyped that up for the investors as well.
Or you can read the Wikipedia article. like I'm
hey,
not
that
Cynthia
works.
Williams. That seems
Oh my
easier,
god.
though.
Okay, I was bringing up that. So like at the end of the day, like this is gonna move. This is gonna be a test of if that's true. Because like before, it used to be that distro could force stores to take product they weren't super pumped about. Shout out to Battle Styles. But like now, distro's gonna have to take it because you can't force me to take more than I ordered.
Right.
So
if stores are smart, if stores have caught on, which they should have caught on by now.
I mean, like, listen, if you haven't caught on by now, it's been great knowing you.
Yeah.
Give me a call when you need to buy your inventory, and I'll buy it from you.
Wow, this got vicious.
Listen, if you can't figure this out by now, what do you want from me? Like, it's been a year. It's been 6 months.
It hasn't been 6 months.
It has been 6 months.
Maybe for
When's the last time you got allocated for Magic?
I got allocated on Brothers War. But I'm different. I'm a newer store. I was still building my thing.
Were you really on collectors?
Yeah. But like, I was still ordering stupid amounts of product.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. You really got allocated
Mm-hmm.
on collectors?
Yeah.
Not on set though.
I don't remember. Yeah, I think I did. I ordered stupid amounts of product.
Why does distro hate you? Do you think?
Well, like I'm glad.
Do they know how many subscribers you have?
Listen, if distro hated me, they would have said, "Here's your 100 boxes." Like that's what they would have done.
That's true. That's
like,
true. Do you talk about your reps and?
No.
Okay. Like,
no.
do you know?
But like, I think at this point though, like I think they would give me every box I asked for, which is
of course,
terrifying.
So I mean, like, this is going to mean distro is going to have to get creative. We've already seen a couple of them do this. Like they've done deals of the day now.
This is where I disagree with you agreeing because you blindly agree with anything Wizard says. Like this is where I disagree with you.
I blindly don't think they're flat out lying to us.
You can't tell me that Wizards printed new Capenna to demand.
Absolutely can. Absolutely.
When
absolutely.
Distro is currently offering me boxes and they're like, hey, here's a great deal, and it's $2 below TCG price.
You apparently don't know what printed demand means, which is not surprising to anybody. If Distro makes an order, and I bet you the orders they placed for Capenna were astoundingly big. The market was on fire. The market was totally on fire. And they said, I can get you that product. It's going to be in a few waves. And Distro probably said, I don't care. Just give it to me. I should add, this is wild speculation, which has never been a problem before.
Hashtag not willing to be banned.
I mean, listen, I'm defending WotC. I'm saying WotC's not lying. Louis is saying Mark Rosewater's aunt is a lying hussy.
So you're saying that Distro ordered way too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, this has now backfired on them because now they have the product.
That also lines up with the idea. This is sarcasm, by the way. That also lines up with the absolute blowout that they are putting on Amazon for the same product. It has nothing to do with like Distro has no issues selling
product. My gut is that Amazon overordered too.
Amazon doesn't order. That's all Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, it's sold directly from.
That is not. Wait, that is. I don't think that's. That
oh
is
my gosh! Well, that's because you don't know what you're talking about.
That's not been confirmed by any means.
The seller on Amazon is listed as Wizards of the Coast.
Seller's listed as Wizards of the Coast, and they've talked about it in their earnings call.
They didn't. No. They said they sold it through Amazon. They didn't say they were the seller.
I just sling cardboard. I don't listen to earnings calls for Hasbro.
Amazon. I can promise you, Amazon is not taking a gamble on product from Wizards of the Coast. Like that is not a scenario that exists. That's not Amazon's business. They are a marketplace for sellers. That's what they do. They sell Kindles. They sell Fire TVs. They make products. They're not
shout
like
out the Fire Stick, by the
yeah,
way.
dude. Oh, dude, you should get the Fire TV. Then you don't even need the stick.
I
like
just
a whole
bought a TV. I'm all in on a different TV. Too
How
late.
often do people buy new TVs? I've had my TVs for 12 years.
Well, I
No,
just got new.
It's been like 6 years.
You buy a new TV when you get a house. You gotta like,
Yeah,
as your house grows, you got to get more TVs. You have to have a TV in
I
every
have
room.
one TV.
And we don't read, George. We need more TVs.
Are you like Louis? That makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, I don't read. I have owned that on. Like, is that like a diss now? Like you said.
Yeah,
that
it's
so
a
proud.
weird thing to own, dude. It's a weird thing to own.
Yeah, that's not like I can't read. Look at me. Like that's not like something you should be yelling from the rooftops. I can help
read.
you.
I just don't. But like
I can't read. I just don't. If that's not the title for this podcast, I don't know what you're doing in content creation.
I don't know. I just think like it's very
don't.
bold to say that New Capenna was printed to the demand from the players.
I mean, listen, you can call Rosewater a liar again, and that's fine. It's not the
Okay.
first time this podcast, but like I tend to take them for their word on that. Like I just like because like Louis, like you weren't there. Like you weren't a store back then. Like
yes, I was.
that was like your first set.
Nope, it wasn't. Innistrad was my first set. Midnight Hunt was my first set. So
no.
You're lying to me now.
Oh no. Hopefully you didn't get allocated much as a new store.
I wasn't ordering any Magic. I think I ordered 6 boxes. Yeah.
So like, let's go.
Okay, so here's the more important thing to talk about, other than George claiming random crap that doesn't exist.
Other than George saying that Wizards isn't lying for no reason.
This doesn't just affect stores.
No.
In my opinion, this affects the end consumer as well.
Wow, what a great take. I wish I told you on the phone today.
You did not tell me that on the phone.
I did. Continue.
You didn't. You're just like blindly. You don't even know what my take is right now. Like
I know where it's going to be.
What's my take? What's my take?
That consumers need to be more okay with pre-ordering and pre-buying the product from the OGS.
What?
Your
Not
take is
my
terrible,
take
then.
at all. My take is that it's actually probably, honestly, the opposite of that. That there's no cuts, which means that the more product is going to end up discounted to your store. So if you don't want to open the box immediately right now to play with the cards or to chase whatever foils or whatever you're doing, then you just straight up shouldn't.
Playing
you should
the
just
game.
wait. You should just wait until distro says, oh, okay, we still have a giant warehouse full of boxes because we didn't do any cuts and stores didn't take their product, and Amazon's gonna show up with a bunch of product anyway. So wait until you can buy the product for, like, we are going to see this pattern continue with product coming out and then going down significantly in value.
So as the end consumer and someone who doesn't have a store, I completely agree with Louis on all standard sets. All standard release sets, I think we've now entered a period where it seems really silly to rush in and pre-order and maybe pay a premium. But on specialized sets, your Double Masters, your Timespire Remastered, even Dominaria Remastered, I Warhammer 40K, I hesitate to make that call. It seems like the printing of these sets seems far more in control, and there's a chance that eventually these things or specialized versions of these things do sell out, right? We have seen some of these things sell out in certain stores. So Louis, I'm on board with standard sets, normal releases, but when it comes to the specialized product, I think there might still be some limitation there.
Justify that statement to me with, let's use Double Masters 2022.
Yeah.
How do you believe that based on what happened with Double Masters? We saw multiple waves of Double Masters. We had boxes start off at
multiple waves of collectors boxes, in fairness.
Right.
Like there was one minuscule second wave of draft.
Yeah, like even draft though, you can see there was waves of the box, but they put out a lot of product. If you look at the sleeved booster packs, I got like 3 or 4 different waves.
Those were Omega packs, those were collector packs.
Not Omega packs, the sleeved draft booster packs.
I mean, there was that was in stock for like 10 minutes at distribution.
Sure, but maybe I'm just wrong here.
And
but I'm not looking
different
for
product.
the sleeve booster pack.
I agree
I'm looking for the booster box, right? And there was times where the price was either too high or it was unavailable. at least locally to me at various game stores. We were waiting on some restock, weren't quite sure what was happening. And as the end consumer is not constantly in contact with distro, I don't have that information. When I walk in somewhere and it says, hey, we're out for now, we're trying to get some for next week, that's the information I go on. And then when I go on TCG Player and the price has gone up, it is my assumption that the product is becoming harder to get, right?
But the
And
price
so that's
hasn't
what's
gone
happening.
up. Like the price is like right now you can get a Double Masters draft box for $280. Like on release and weeks after release, it was a $300 to $340 box.
Okay.
And but like I'm
Then,
not saying like
then I'm just wrong.
I don't
seems
know
like the numbers
how
say I'm
wrong you are. Like I don't know how wrong you are.
It seems like you're trying to adamantly say I'm very
No,
wrong.
I'm
until
not,
this
because
moment.
what I was about to say, what I was about to finish was
Oh my
that
god.
the
I like doing
volume
that.
available is pretty low still. Like it wouldn't take
Okay.
too much work for boxes to get to that like $320 price range.
320 somewhere up there. Okay.
I think the supplemental sets, I don't know that Double Masters is like the perfect supplemental set to use though. Like look at
Sure. Well, I mean, Commander Legends is the second one is a bust. The first Commander Legends was around for a while, but we saw collector boxes printed probably properly, right? So collector
Yeah.
boxes then went up in value, and it felt like, oh crap, I didn't pick these up. Modern Horizons 2, we did see a dip, but then like collectors boxes, sealed collectors boxes went way back up.
I agree with you, Josh. Modern Horizons 2 is undervalued and the greatest set ever. Thank you for confirming that, Josh. Great take. Everybody go buy it.
What do you
Great
not
take,
like?
Josh.
What is there not to like about Modern Horizons 2? I
No,
don't get
he
it.
is,
Amen, brother.
He is.
Amen, brother.
George is way overstocked on Modern Horizons.
I'm well aware, but I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand what could be wrong with that product.
Nothing's wrong with Modern Horizons 2.
Ever. It's
The
beautiful.
only argument that somebody could make would be the very large amount of print that they made for Modern Horizons 2 and the seemingly endless restock.
The last wave maybe could have been a little bit smaller.
But like, I mean, I think so. Like, one of my biggest frustrations with MH2 is why wait so long to reprint fetch lands if when you were going to reprint fetch land
Every set.
you just put so like I pull a fetch land from an MH2 pack and I don't make my money back on the pack. Like it's like that's pretty bad at my cost. Wait a second, at my cost.
Is that true?
For a collector pack, yeah, unless you pull
okay, yeah, collector pack.
Yeah, like I just feel like I feel like they really went in on the not printing something and then they like just bombarded it all in this one product.
I mean,
I agree with
retro
that.
frame foils are still in the 40s of dollars, and like this has been your argument. It's you want normal cards to be achievable and anyone can get them, but you want specialized treatments that are expensive. And don't the new fetch lands achieve exactly that?
Well, you didn't hear what I said. Apparently, I said I'm okay with them reprinting them. I just don't want them like they just
you said you
overdid it in the same product. Like print them over the course of the 4 years that people were begging for them. Give us some of them over the course of the 4 years rather than putting them in one product and then
so that's what you meant by. I thought you meant when they release them, there's now too many fetch lands out there. You wanted them over more frequently and more frequent. That makes sense.
I'm pretty much team print fetch lands and things like that to make them very cheap and affordable, and then have high caliber collectibles. But like let's be real though, like a $44 foil fetch land, you're saying like that is the high caliber, I can't say that word, high caliber collectible. Like fetch lands, a steam not steam, what's the
Misty Rainforest is
Mr. Rainforest used to be a $70 non-foil regular card, and you're using the foil, like the most expensive foil version at $44.
But there's a balance, right? Because Magic is a game that plays 4-ofs, right? Not everyone operates in Commander land. This is Modern Horizons. You need 4 of them. A $40 land, it's that thing you can open in a pack. It feels awesome. It's special, and at the same time, you can bling out your deck with it. You can go all in and buy $160 worth of lands. I think you have to have balance. Your most expensive version can't always be $500 of everything, especially something that's extremely playable. It's fine with serialized cards because they're amazing, and Transformers and stuff like that because they're not necessarily doing it because they're common playable staples.
Those
right?
were totally tanked, by the way. You should have listened to our advice on the foiled Transformers, by the way. If you did not sell when we told you to sell, that's on you.
Josh, I don't think you are understanding what I'm saying.
All right, I'll help you. I'll help you, boo-boo. Josh, Louis is saying that they should have reprinted it the years previous because not printing it for years, making the price go to $1 billion and then dumping $20 trillion in the market makes no sense.
Yeah.
If you wanted to be a $20 card, you should have made a $20 card for 4 years previous.
Yeah, and
to
add to that, like now you have MH2 boxes and collector packs that are, when you buy the value that they are at.
Opened your Omega packs, didn't you?
No, I opened some of them last night. Like I have
your MH2, your MH2 fake. Yeah, those are the MH2 fake Omegas.
I maybe have a stash of them in my room, in my office, that at night while I'm editing videos, I just randomly start cracking them open.
I keep taking them, and I don't know why. They're now at our cost, basically. Like I have no idea why they're like.
But this is my point.
Should I take them? Yeah, I'll take all of them.
This is my point. At my cost, when I open this box and I hit like a misty rainforest, it's not even so. But don't call them like they use them to. This is where we're going back to the no cuts. The supply of these sealed products.
God, that was the topic.
The supply of these sealed product.
I totally forgot that was the topic.
Is higher than the demand for the cards inside.
I think that's a cold take.
I'm torn here, Louis, because I want to get off this topic and keep moving, but you're completely ignoring all of the elementals, right? Your endurance, your subtleties, your griefs, and grief is kind of tanked.
I don't care, but here's what I don't get. We're just now getting those fake Omega packs with MH2 collectors, right?
Yeah.
Why are you giving it to me?
Why am I buying it? This is the
why am I buying it? That's on me.
Real question.
But
why am I buying it? And even more, why am I
listen, guys, only buy the products that interest you. Haven't you been listening? Pay attention.
Where were these for 2 years?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Like, where were these? Like, why are we now getting them? Like,
because
why are we getting
no cuts anymore? Because Distro probably had them. Distro was probably holding them.
That's actually a really good call.
Let's see what we get here.
What's the monkey? I love the monkey card.
Ragavan. And that's what you're saying. You're like, oh, you only open this. It feels bad.
A $3 Titana that used to be.
You're like, it feels bad, but it feels great to open $100 endurance or $100 Ragavan or a $90 to $80 subtlety. Like those things feel great.
You got one. I don't know what
we can't see what you're holding.
Verdant Catacombs and a etched foil Giver of Runes.
Nice.
That's a good pack. Yeah,
don't leave it. It'll ruin it.
These are 100. By the way, this is like Wizards don't ban me. I pulled last night from the same case the exact same card with the exact same one. They are like not correlated to enough.
Well, they're meant for they're not meant for us. They're meant for Wally Worlds.
Wait, you're not supposed to open like a case of them at a time.
And try to sell them on TCG Player and make $25,000 in a weekend.
I can't think. Like I took so many.
I have a pack opening problem.
I have a Modern Horizons 2 problem.
Yeah, no, but like this is a valid conversation to the no cuts. Is that they keep putting more and more and more.
We can't go back now. We can't go back. This section is now Modern Horizons 2. All right, we can't go back. Next week we'll talk about no cuts. That's over.
Speaking of no cuts, why don't we move on to Dominaria Remastered? Which, Josh, you have a great take here.
Wow.
He did. He had a great take earlier.
Listen,
I talk about how it was selling out everywhere. I want to talk about that.
Yes, that is what I said. It said it's selling out everywhere, and if you can still buy it, then you're just wrong because, as I said, it's selling out everywhere.
God, no, this is his content now, Josh. If it helps any, this is like his videos. It's terrible.
This product was obviously very controversial. You did a great video on it that I've complimented several times, talking about the EV of the box and the fact that this is a more expensive product. And I looked at this, I said, oh, that's valid. I bet the community rejects this. But upon reviewing the set, I liked the cards. There was a lot of fun stuff in the set. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to enjoy this, and the EV is not going to be there. To hear my sponsor reach out to me and talk about how great pre-orders are going for this product, and to talk to some other
really
LGS.
Not gonna plug your sponsor right here?
I don't know if I'm allowed to. I don't know if Louis will cut it when I mention Min-Max Games. Like, I don't know if it'll get cut from the
Wow,
podcast.
do you have beef with Min-Max, Louis?
Nope. The opposite of beef with Min-Max.
I also have no beef with Min-Max. Even though they're a fearsome competitor who I love seeing on the battleground.
Who's clearly crushing it because they're selling out of Dominaria Remastered.
I am too. I had your back. Don't come after me. I had your back.
I was trying to move the conversation along. It was not an attack with you. Goodness gracious, fellas.
I had your back.
I wasn't attacking you.
Wow.
You'll know.
This is the type of friends that Min-Max Games has.
Listen, just because you two bozos aren't premium, I don't want to hear it. Oh, get premium.
Ding, ding, ding.
Get premium.
Card.
If there's an opposite of premium, that is my story.
That follows. So let me tell you
for now.
No, stop
the
it.
New tables and chairs are coming, dude.
I've seen them. He's not premium. So like let me tell you my story with Dominaria Remastered. I was actually moving arcade games on the base, and a customer came strolling by, and they were getting ready to leave for a break. So I was like, hey man, like have a good break. Thanks for everything. See you in January, yada yada. And he's like, make sure you have me down for Dominaria Remastered. And I laughed because I thought he was kidding. And like, I then regretted my laugh because he was not kidding. He's like, no, seriously, like there's a list of people who all want it. And I like put in there like, okay, who wants this? I had a list of mile long. I'm gonna sell out. I emailed this for today saying like, can I get more collectors? I'm gonna sell out instantly of Dominaria Remastered. And I didn't see that coming. Like you heard me last week being very worried about this.
It's weird, right?
Well, I mean, like I think people really want some of the chases. Like that's my takeaway. People want the highest end of some of those cards. This is
some of them are pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Interesting takes, guys.
Do you not like this product?
I hate this product. And
it's a Magicthegathering product, Josh. Of course.
We are 30 days from release.
Mm-hmm.
And box prices are on TCG Player are $290. Listen, you can go pre-order this at captainsmarket.com for $275 for collector box.
Or minmax.games.com for less.
No, it's
using
the same price.
Promo code HCTCG.
I knew that we were going to talk about Min-Max, so I made sure my price was the same as Min-Max. But like, listen, I would not buy this box at $275 for a collector box. If I was a consumer, I would not buy that. Listen, I want you to go support me. I want you to go support my store. George doesn't have an online store. If you're if you're local to George, buy from George. That's great.
If he's got any left.
If you want to buy collector boxes at $275 for me, buy collector boxes for $275 for me. Draft boxes, I don't know what my price is, 170, 165, something like that.
If you go to Min-Max Games, you can find out Louis' price very shortly.
I can't go that low. I can't go that low. I don't know. Like, there's no way. So, like, I think that we are way too far out from this set with really no allocation for you to be spending.
Except we already got our allocations. Other than that, it's a great take.
Yeah, but it was like the cuts weren't there. They weren't. We just did a whole conversation about there are no cuts. The cuts aren't happening.
I agree with that to standard products.
Like, it's too far out to be pre-ordered.
Sure. And listen, you might have a valid argument. And from a store's perspective, we have reached a point where the margins on Magic with how widely and readily available it is aren't fat. Like, I don't know what they are. I'm not going to speculate on distribution price versus for sale price because I don't want George to come kick my door down. But listen,
Facts.
You're right. The margins aren't there on a per box basis. It's a volume game. It's all about volume.
It's about two things. It's about volume in the long run, but it's about selling fast in the short run. Like if you in the first week, First 2 weeks, first month, you're making good margins. After that, it gets hard.
Interesting. I still think like
I'll say this. I was like, you guys heard me last week.
I didn't see it coming.
No, me neither. I was like very negative on this product last week. I was stunned that like so many people wanted it when I talked to people about it.
I am still team negative on this product.
Shocking. Never saw it coming. Never would have guessed.
Listen, I'm not. I am not team negative where I'm going to make bets with you guys that I will win like Dominaria other than Liliana. But I am. My concern is for the player. I don't see collectors being like, I want to spend $300 on a collector box. I don't see players being like, I want to spend that amount of money on a collector box. I will say like volume on TCG players are pretty interesting.
Define interesting. That's very unhelpful
like
as a phrase.
2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 15 boxes sold today at $292 on TCG.
That's a lot of volume for a $300 box.
That's a lot of volume for 30 days out.
And right before the big sale today, right now.
Yeah. There's a ton of boxes also available though. Like that's the is the
Magic's readily available.
Magic.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. I will eat crow when I am wrong on this one.
Little preview there.
Speaking
little preview there. I like it. No. Secret topic.
That's not the secret topic.
No, I have a secret topic. All right, Josh.
Oh my
God. Louis is alone in his house. Everybody else in the world is dead. Everybody else in the world is dead. Okay? It's just Louis alone in the world. He has to kill a duck to eat it. It can't be a domesticated one that's at the park.
Yeah, you're ruining it.
Okay.
It has to be a wild duck.
Wild duck. He's got to. That's the objective. Louis has to kill a wild duck.
Starve to death before he is able to capture and kill a duck? Yes or no?
It depends. How much backstock cookie dough is there in the house with him? Listen, I need the variables. If you want me to answer the question, I need the variables.
Listen, if I'm eating duck, there's no cookie dough left. I can promise you that.
Duck's a delicacy. No, listen, my man Louis is catching, killing, and eating that duck. Okay?
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
He lives by the 12 ancestral tenets or whatever it is. You know, he's got this.
He's like the liver king if it went natural and like also ate nothing but cookie dough.
No,
he's like,
oh my gosh.
Alpha male Lewis. He's got this.
Liver King's highly debated right now, George.
He's the cookie dough king.
That was a touchy subject for the one Liver King viewer that we have on the podcast. You just struck a nerve this week.
Do you think there's a ton of cross population between
no,
TCGs
the one.
and the Liver King?
The one Liver King guy who's like, my guy did nothing wrong. Lying about everything is fine. It's okay.
Wow. God. Louis would starve to death. That part's obvious to me.
I would not.
How long would Louis survive on his own in the elements?
That is a completely different conversation.
No, forever.
Than when you said I could kill a duck.
Yeah. My man, hunter-gatherer,
okay.
Louis DeGeorge.
Put in the comment section below.
Listen,
if you think Louis would have the wherewithal to capture and kill a duck with no help.
We're going to continue this conversation at the end of the podcast, patron exclusive 10-minute episode today of what's the biggest animal?
What's the biggest animal?
I've had this conversation. It's a good chat.
You got to pay Louis money to hear that he can take down a rhinoceros. No problem.
Not a rhino. Definitely not a rhino.
Definitely not a rhino.
All right. Back to Cryptic beer. Cryptic had a...
We're doing Cryptic now?
Back.
Yeah.
That's not the order you said earlier.
It is the order. It's not the order I said before the chicken thing or the duck thing. Okay, wait, hold on. What's more difficult to kill, a duck or a chicken?
Duck. Easy.
Yeah.
Wait. Really? I'm talking about like an animal, like a farm
like ducks fly.
chicken, right?
Ducks like legitimately fly.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
I was just making sure we were on the
duck
same
for
page.
sure.
All right. Cryptic, everyone's new favorite TCG. If everyone is me.
I want you to know I am proud of you, Louis. I did have at least 2 conversations this week where you did not mention it.
I have done nothing but try to get my my store Discord to tell me what day they want to play Cryptic this week. Like, I'm like trying to get babysitters. I'm trying to get
bring the kids. They'll be the first Cryptic game.
Yeah. But they did a cool thing. They did a cool promotion this week with a brewing company Do you remember what the name was, George?
No, but it was in Miami.
It was in Miami.
Ooh, Miami.
Bienvenido on Miami. Oh wait, Will Smith also a little controversial. Never mind.
Also
Take it back.
controversial topic.
Never mind.
Great.
Never mind.
Are we going to turn into a pop culture controversy podcast?
All right. No.
Don't go there. No,
I got some takes. I got some takes.
I know
I
where
gotta
you're
get
going.
off the screen. Hold on.
I know where
Any
you're
hometown
going.
Logos here.
I don't feel like editing today. All right. So this is a really cool promotion. I think that a lot of games, like these indie TCGs, should look into doing things like this. And I actually think that Tanner should look into doing this with like local beer. Like when he does our tournament, it might be not close enough. Might be not enough time for a brewery in West Virginia, but to connect big tournaments with like breweries and things, it's like 3 months away, like 2.5 months away.
How long does beer brew?
I don't know, but I'm sure like if you called up a brewery and you're like, hey, I want to do a special promotion, they'd need more than 2 months, right?
How would I know that?
This is purely speculation, but I'm going to say they'll get it done.
I won't speculate and get banned from Anheuser-Busch, okay? I won't do it.
You were pretty adamant
You
that
know
my
I will not get
timeline
banned
was
from Miller Lite.
No, it was like super specific. Like, I know that can't happen in West Virginia. Like, does beer take forever to brew up there? Like, what was that line?
whatever.
It's the
Anyway,
altitude.
it was cool to see like a brewery be taken over and have Cryptic games happening. It's a cool way to market the game outside of the local game store kind of environment. I think
they
it's
got
a huge
special promos that were cool.
Yeah, I just think it's a huge win, and like thinking outside the box. Like Tanner gets it. You got to think outside the box right now.
Importantly, he will. What the hell's going on here? He will not.
Apparently, my wife can hear us do the podcast. She said the chicken is actually more difficult to kill because it has claws.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think it'd be harder.
Those claws are not.
We gotta save this. We gotta save this. This is too good. This is patron only. This is patron only.
All right.
Your patrons are gonna go through the roof this week, Louie. I hope you're ready.
Yeah. It's the first thing. It's the first benefit I've given them in like 3
Your
weeks.
house will be fixed by the end of this podcast. So he said that he will not do unique promos in terms of functionality.
Yeah.
So like that's super good, I think. And so like these cool promos are just cool for collectors.
Yeah.
So
Which
this
is
is a really
Yeah.
This is cool to see games lean into the fact that most people who are playing them at this point are adults, right? And sitting at a game store is great. We love doing it, but it's also cool to visit other venues. A couple games have done this.
You're
where you
all
get to go
old.
play.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, yeah, listen, my hip hurts and my back is sore when I wake up. Get over it, George. Like, it's nice to experience these games and play especially a game like Cryptic in a social atmosphere where you start to build, like we always talk about with Magic, we build these emotional ties, these memories around the game, and it might be something that just keeps pulling us back in. I love this idea.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Great idea from Tanner. He's doing this. He's doing this across the country. It's a big tournament coming up in Texas.
Yeah, and he like him leaning into this like he's going to all these things, and he's it's a traveling kind of like card game thing. I think it'd be really cool to do a series of beer tours or something like that. It's just really cool to think through the different ways that he can do these things.
You had me at beer. I don't know what you're talking about, but you had me at beer. I'm in.
And if you're an LGS, reach out to Tanner about hosting an event. I mean this. It was by a country mile the easiest event I've ever run. like
George did little to nothing.
I did stuff. I did not have to do anything. I way over prepared. I could have just showed up and been like, "Oh, thanks, Tanner. This was great."
you just got Tanner like 14 stores that are gonna give him events that do nothing. Hey, Tanner, here's the keys.
I mean, like it was the easiest event I've ever run by a mile. I mean, like I literally could have just showed up.
And if you're looking for an event that you want to start planning on March 4th, we'll be doing my event.
That's a new date, isn't it?
It is because Collecticon.
You got bumped for you got a bump for a more important event. Never mind. That makes sense. There is
maybe one more important event than the My Cryptic tournament, and that is the massive Collecticon experience in Florida. Yes, Josh.
Disagree. There is something even more important than that. These people that are building all these decks need a place to buy singles. Where can they do that?
Go. At captainsmarket.com as well. You can get singles.
It's the only Cryptic single site in the entire universe.
I'm pretty excited. We're working on expanding the shop, so hopefully we will be in the actual next section of the shop.
All right, I'm out.
We may have to change it, and I may have to rent a venue, depending on.
What happened to the new shop?
It's like we're going through some stuff right now. I don't know exactly all the details. It's taking longer.
You don't know all the details of your shop?
Like, I know them. I don't necessarily want to share them on the podcast right now.
George, this is corporate speak.
Only.
Get with it. It's corporate speak.
I was actually happy that we pushed it back a week, because it gives me another week to get some stuff done. So
is it because you're having a cocktail party there tonight?
Yeah,
and you don't know how much gimmicks you'll be there?
Yeah. Exactly. So anyway, really cool. Excited for Cryptic and the way that Tanner is thinking outside of the mug.
Oh my god. And you just lost all the patrons you were going to get.
Outside of the...
You just lost all the patrons you were going to get. That was great, Louis.
Oh, okay. Don't push it.
Case of beer?
Don't push it. You had it on the first one.
Yeah, it was good. I'll
talk about it in a minute. Go ahead.
All right. Speaking of eating crow from 5 minutes ago.
God, this is so cold. This is all your fault.
Why is this a chicken? Wait, that's not a duck? What is happening right now?
This is the worst podcast in the world.
They didn't have any crow. So I got to eat chicken instead.
Oh my god, you're embodying eating crow by eating a breaded chicken tender?
No. An ice cold $3 chicken tender. So bad.
All right, fill us in, Louis. Why is George eating crow?
I know what's
today?
happening. Josh has no clue what's happening, which makes this podcast.
I haven't. No, I have an idea. Hey,
absolutely beautiful.
I am informed. I am informed.
I actually don't think you are informed, which is 100% George and I's fault. But it happened last night. So in our defense, it's been 12 hours. So things move fast.
Okay, well I need to be informed. What is going on?
George, share your eating crow.
Can you talk? I'm full of my ice cold chicken.
So
what's happening?
Welcome to the Sorcery Scoopy segment of the podcast.
In case you couldn't tell by me eating the chicken tender.
Okay, I'll listen in. This is Scooby for me too.
George will share more of his details of eating crow once he's not chewing his chicken tender anymore.
Ice cold $3 chicken tender. Don't buy chicken tenders at Publix. This podcast not sponsored by Publix.
Yeah. Definitely anti-Publix podcast. We are pro Kroger. That's where we do our grocery shopping.
I'm not willing to lay my allegiances here.
Anyway, Sorcery. We had a great conversation this week with the team at Sorcery, with Eric and Simon, and really cool conversation with some really cool stuff coming up. Yeah, go ahead, George.
All right, so
this is your bit. You were chewing food.
Just
I was
relax,
trying to.
I got it. I got it from here. So, all right, let me say why I'm eating crow. They are taking play a lot more seriously than I expected, than I had given them credit for in the beginning, and I gotta apologize for that. And this is what I've always said: I'm willing to be wrong. Doesn't happen very often, but it happens. So, if a game reaches out and it's like, "Hey, man, you know." I don't think you're right. I'll pick up the phone. What's so funny, boo-boo?
You're just funny. You've just been wrong so many times on this podcast.
Not accurate.
I'm trying to not rub it in.
My notebook's running out of space for tallies. So
yeah, Josh, have you received your Dominaria?
Oh, are we not talking? Wait, no, that's because it's coming. I have a reason for that. Are you going to keep interrupting the Sorcery?
No, sorry, go ahead. Sorcery.
I don't think I want it.
How dare you? It's a great product. It's just like the Charizard UPC. So they were taking play very seriously. That was a lot of what the conversation was about. And I said this on the podcast last week. Mike from Mean Mugging Games, who I'm sure will leave a comment with a link to his channel here, and Louis will pin it to the top again, for you. He did last week for Jordan. Unless you don't like Mike, your patron.
I love Mike.
Unless you don't like Mike, your patron, that's fine.
Mike, I will pin your channel.
Okay, good, thank you.
Is this gonna be the new thing where George just says, I was gonna pin my Cryptic single store, but I guess we'll pin Mike.
More people care about Mike's channel than your Cryptic single store. Mike brought up a couple of sorcery decks, and I played. And I said this last week. I was very impressed by the gameplay. I was caught off guard by how much I enjoyed the base mechanics of the game. For those of you who don't know, there's 2 piles of cards when you play. One is lands, one is stuff. And
It's not entirely true, but sure.
What's not true about that?
Like, they don't interact as like, to call them lands is very.
You literally place it on the board as a land. It could not be any more literally lands than that.
If you want to be technical, they are sites. They're not called lands, they're called sites, and they do different things. They're not just like mana resources.
I didn't say they were mana. I said they were
by
lands.
saying they are lands, you are implying that they are Magic the Gathering lands. That's what you're implying.
They're lands.
Okay. They are called
I'm way
sites.
more interested in the stuff pile. Can we get to the stuff pile?
No, see, that's the point. The sites actually impact the game incredibly, and they have enter the battlefield effects, or they have affect the area effects. Like,
fun fact, I forgot my enter the battlefield effect every time.
Yeah, that makes sense. So they are not just lands from Magic. They are sites that impact the game in big ways.
And more importantly, it's how you build the board. Like, far more important than any of the nonsense Louis just said. It's literally how you build the board, so it matters where you place your land.
Site. Where you place your site.
Like we blocked off part of the board.
Yeah.
So only one of us could place it there. So where you place it is super important. And one of my critiques to Eric yesterday, 2 days ago, was it felt very swingy to me. The game did. And he said 2 things that I thought were interesting.
You're bad.
One thing he said. Are you done?
I could go for a minute.
One thing he said was that it's meant to be that way. It's meant to feel like Commander, where it's very swingy.
Yeah, if only somebody else would have told you that.
I trust other people more than you.
Yeah.
In fact, I trust everybody more than you. The second thing he said was the 2 piles that you can draw from. That inherently reduces some variance. And I thought something you did not share, by the way, Louis. And I thought that was a really interesting take. I had not considered that, and I thought that was actually pretty brilliant in hindsight.
Yeah, and on the call, he talked about the idea of the game is created to be casual and exciting, but anytime you build a game, you will have people who are spikers, people who try really hard to maximize the efficiency of the deck, and that can still exist in Sorcery, and it very well will exist in Sorcery because it is a deck building game. But they are not designing those things into the game. They are creating the game to be a casual experience that is swingy, that is fun to play in a more casual environment.
And yeah, I think that's right. And like I told him this is the first card game I played that feels like a board game. It literally feels like a Battle Lore is like a board game I used to play all the time, and it reminded me of that quite a bit.
Louis, is that you?
What?
When did you stop wearing a hat, Louis? These takes sound a lot like the things Louis was saying about Sorcery.
It's fine.
Starting to sound a lot like Louis over there.
It's fine. People who listen to
You're right. I'm out. Never mind.
People who listen.
Just saying.
People, hopefully this is Eating Crow allows you to get involved with Sorcery now. Beta is coming out. It'll be available. And
so let's talk about some of the scoopies. The other thing that gave me a lot of confidence is they bought the deck building company,
Phyrexia.io. If you guys are interested.
To me, this shows that they're very serious about 2 things. They're very serious about seeing how people are interacting with their game, which is obviously good, making it easier to play, which is very good. But also they want that sweet data.
Yeah.
They want to know, not your personal data, but they want to know what decks are being made.
Right. Is
there a card that could be a problem? Is there a card that interacts better with a card than they anticipated? They want to understand how people are interacting with their games.
Yeah.
And I think buying the company that is your number 1 deck building company and bringing on the person is a really great call.
Yeah.
It's a really great decision. And I think they deserve a lot of credit for saying, I'm going to plant my flag in this. I'm going to hang my hat on not my drunken Santa hat, my regular hat on gameplay. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with that.
And I think on top of that, that is even more important for casual game than it would be for the like tournament game, because if games are made for tournaments and LGS structure and whatever, you're going to see the results on the top 8 table or on the, you know, the different tournament results. And when you have a game that's being created as casual, this shows a lot of foresight in my mind to say our game's going to be played casually, so we can see this way, we can actually have front hand, you know, a front row seat to the data. We're not getting the data from somebody else. We can actually take it and look at it. It's just a good way to do it when you are focusing on being a kitchen table game, to have access to that data. I think that's really important too.
Yeah. Like, listen, like hearing Eric and Simon talk about how much they're focusing on the player experience gave me a lot of confidence. Because, like, listen, I said this publicly, and I stand by this candidly. Like, when you go onto the Discord, you go on the Facebook groups, everybody's talking about the art. Everybody's talking about the art. And I was very surprised by how good the game was when Mike showed it to me. I probably should have given it a fairer shot in the beginning. I'll eat that. I'll eat my ice cold chicken tender as a way of apologizing to Simon and Eric. I hope my penance is never needed again, because that was vile and expensive. But they are taking gameplay a lot more seriously than I anticipated, and that meant a lot to me as a store and as a potential consumer.
Yeah. Are there any other apologies you'd like to make?
Yeah, I apologize for having to listen to Louis for the last year and a half. I apologize to all of you viewers. I know it's been absolutely terrible having to listen to him.
I'm going to make a compilation of all the sorcery takes that you had, and put them in a pile. And
you told me you were going to be nice to me about this.
Yeah,
remember that?
Well, you
remember
also,
that?
yeah.
He lied.
Yeah.
There's a shock.
This is me being nice. Welcome to, it's going to, I'll make you look pretty. I'll do some editing on your face to make you look better. Is that, you want to give
That's
me hair?
fine. Deal. I want hair. I want hair.
I'm not actually going to do that either. I'm just joking.
What?
I'm like, listen, I am very glad that you're coming around to sorcery, because I like talking about sorcery, and every time I used to bring it up, you would get angry and just say nonsense like on the podcast.
You got angry.
Okay, some more Scoopies. They are changing. Those of you who backed the Kickstarter and were involved in this, you are getting the pre-con decks that were advertised, and everything's fine there. But they're actually changing the pre-con. The avatars are going to be no longer, and they're changing that up for beta, which is pretty awesome. And like a pretty exciting new different thing for the game, leaning into the beta side of things.
And that also gives me confidence.
Yeah.
Because that's going to go to stores. Like, one of my critiques has been, how are stores going to interact with this game? Because it's once a year, it's an enormous set, it's meant for the kitchen table. How are you going to grow your game through the stores? If that's how you're going to grow your game. If not, tell me how you're going to do it without stores. And like, this to me is saying, I'm going to take stores seriously, and I'm going to give them a product that even if you kickstarted the game, you're going to want to go to your LGS, go buy this kit, and you're going to want to talk to people about playing the game.
Yeah.
Again, like, this was a very this was I felt a lot more confident, way more confident after this call than before it. They explained their plans a little bit more, and they sounded like good plans to me. I'm willing to say when I'm wrong, unlike other people. Louis, continue.
I'm always willing to say when I'm wrong. I told you guys I'll eat that for sure for Dominaria Remastered if I'm wrong about it.
You've never been wrong before that.
I didn't know I was going to become a viewer on this podcast, but it's all coming together. Everything. So I had several texts from you, Louis, and it's all coming together. I got pre-con decks changing for bets. Nothing else. Just that. I got the deck building website misspelled.
Misspelled terribly.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. And so I found the actual deck building website and started to put this all together.
You also misstated it yesterday on the phone call, by the way. Just so we're clear. You called it curiosity.io.
And
more
now,
than once on the
I
call.
Also believe that means I am in possession of the final Scoopy.
Yes, do it, Josh. Spoil it.
I am in possession of the Scoopy that Louis wants more than any other Scoopy.
Do it.
There is Sorcery is being designed with a 4-player potential.
Oh, that's not really a Scoopy.
No.
That's not a Scoopy at all. That's not a Scoopy at all.
Louis DeGeorge, everyone. Louis DeGeorge.
So,
So,
so they are the only thing they said about that is they have play tested it with different variations of stacking play mats on top of each other to try. I think the quote was
ever.
I think the quote was to try to figure out what the community might come up with in a 4-player version of the game. So
I was wondering. I thought we only had 2 Scoopies, and Josh scoops the Scoopy from you.
I'm telling you, man, it's right here. 4-player potential, baby.
We should release our private text as a Patreon benefit too.
You know what? That's what I'm doing on my Patreon.
No,
I will be leaking.
Yes,
no.
I will be leaking Louis' DM.
No, you cannot.
All
do
the Louis DeGeorge nudes are coming to my Patreon.
No,
I'm in.
Whatever. All right. Yeah. So Sorcerer looking good. Excited for the release.
They seem pretty confident in Q1, maybe Q1 of next year for shipping. It sounded like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, they've got. I mean,
they're printing. And again, I've always said this. This part I don't think change my tune on. Printing that quantity of boxes is a completely different animal than a normal Kickstarter print run.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't have to change my tune on. Like I told them this in the call. Nobody will care about the delays if the product is good.
Yeah, I agree.
Nobody will care. Nobody will care in 9 months if the game is great, the cards look amazing. Nobody's gonna be like, "Yeah, I love the game. It looks amazing, but man, remember that delay."
I would say the number of people who have cared is pretty small.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
You have what, like 7,000 people backed it. You maybe have like 10 people like publicly talking about it negatively. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
people expect that with Kickstarter.
9 no. The 10th ate crow just a minute ago.
There you go.
I didn't plan the delay. I was mad at you for not acknowledging they're going to print in Asia, even though they clearly were the entire time. And you saying, "Geez, you're fudding it up, saying they're going to print in Asia."
I definitely didn't say that. Okay, moving on to Pure Imagination Studios.
Put that in the comments below. Somebody snip it and put in the comments. Louis will pin it.
The pins. There's like 15 pins. Every
15
comment.
pin comments.
Every comment gets a pin.
Jordan, get in this. Bone Zone up again. Go for it. Go ahead.
So we have often stated on this podcast that the most important thing for MetaZoo moving forward from the current place of MetaZoo world is the animation and the Netflix show or movie or whatever ends up being for the animation. Yes, George? Why are you laughing?
It's going to be shorts.
Well, we know that now, but before what we've said is that that's the
movie or
important...
TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they just released that Pure Imagination Studios is going to be the one that is currently working on the project. So I thought we could discuss that a little bit.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
They
did
made
you know anything about it
Batman,
before you did this?
They made the Batman shorts. They did the Batman Lego shorts.
Yeah, they did a lot of work for Lego.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big.
That's a big deal.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy about this. I think this is great news for MetaZoo. You know, I don't know, like, unless you're gonna get Pixar, which I don't imagine they take on external clients. Candidly, like this is in that tier. Like this is really high up there for shorts, and I think it's a good poll.
Angry Birds. Some Godzilla stuff, some work on Thor. Like they did.
I wonder if they did the Ikoria cards.
The Ikoria cards?
Yeah, the Godzilla treatments for the Ikoria cards.
God. I thought you were a Magic content creator.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Well, they're also not animated though. Like you're bringing up completely random things. But
Godzilla goes to Ikoria.
Sure.
Have a couple more of these. They might be.
The glass is now very, very empty. What was it?
Oh my gosh!
Just a drink.
I would love to hear.
Not a drink.
I would love to see some sort of like roadmap or like outline for what they plan on doing with the shorts. No, you don't care.
I couldn't care less about that.
Why?
Because like, listen, like I think the same thing about this as I did about the sorcery stuff. It's going to release. It's going to be amazing or bad, and you're going to know right away. and it's going to be amazing or terrible.
Okay,
I
but,
think this will be great because I think they picked a great company.
I agree
And
that
so,
the shorts will be great based on the company.
Huh?
I agree that the shorts will be
Yeah.
great based on the company.
It seems like they picked right.
Yeah, I mean, this is as good as you can hope to get if you're Mike. This is great.
I would love to see, and like I hope that leaning into 2023, the new like hype cycle for MetaZoo is Mike talking about what they are going to end up doing with the shorts. Like if you have amazing good shorts and you just put them on YouTube under the MetaZoo YouTube channel, that looks a lot different than like having amazing good shorts and you have some sort of contract with like, I don't know, HBO Max or Netflix that's going to get things in the eyes of like a new consumer, a new potential person that's interested in the product. That's where this turns into a really big, what he said, like the IP importance and pushing the IP.
I think that's fair. I can't imagine this studio doing something that ends up on MetaZoo's YouTube page. Like,
no,
I
agree.
can't imagine that.
I agree with that. I'm not saying
I
that that's where it's
I understand
be.
that, Boo Boo. I understand that. I suspect this will be on Netflix. That's my gut.
I want to see these at the beginning of movies. Remember when you used to go? Remember what movies
like
were
the previews?
Are you guys seeing Avatar?
Movie theaters? That stuff.
Not the previews. Like when you.
I know what you're saying. They used to do shorts before the movies.
Yeah, like they would have. They would have like a 5-minute short that was like an actual. It wasn't an advertisement, or maybe sometimes it was like an advertisement for Coca-Cola at the end, and you know.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing didn't matter, and then it's just Coca-Cola. But like there was also like movies, and they did these at the beginning of some VHSs too, where like the whole you would buy a 90-minute movie, but the
70% of the viewers are googling what a VHS is right now.
That's not true. My demographic is like 30 to 40, so they all know what VHSs are. They're all older than me, so
not by much.
Yeah, barely, but you know. So I don't know. I think like it would be really cool to see some connection to that kind of stuff. Not that anybody goes to the movie theater anymore, but like some other way
like,
you design with that.
I think that's true. God, that chicken finger's not sitting well. So like that was a mistake. That was terrible. I blame you, Louie.
The whole thing. You could have just taken a bite and got your point across.
It's my fault. You had such terrible takes for so long, and now you had to eat.
It was so
chicken.
bad. That chicken finger is definitely my penance.
Now you had to eat chicken crow.
Like I agree. I think that'd be cool. Like see why they missed out on Avatar coming out today. That would be a good one to get it in front of. Avatar's gonna be huge.
Sure.
You're not gonna go see Avatar in the theater?
No.
I have an 11-week-old as of the release of.
You understand?
Podcast.
People with kids also can see movies, right? It's not like they don't. You know,
sure, but not generally with 11-week-olds. Like there's a little more time there. Before.
My favorite part of George is when he talks like he knows what it's like to have kids. He doesn't have kids. He also has 0 friends that have kids other than us. So like, there's no world.
That part's not exactly true. Just we're on the same page.
There's no world.
George's friends with kids are like
70-year-olds. They will have grown-up kids. That part's probably fair.
You know that movie where like the kids in the movie scene where like the kid comes up to the adult and the adult has nothing to do, like no semblance of an idea of what to say to the 5-year-old or how to treat it. That is 100% George.
Until the kid talks, they're a dog. Don't convince me otherwise. Until the kid.
No.
We can get into a whole debate about this because dogs actually develop way, way faster than kids. It's always baffled me how a dog just like comes out of the womb, walks, like magically knows how to walk.
Listen, everything special about a human being is up here. The rest of it, not that great. This takes time, man.
Anyway, speaking of up here, Pure Imagination Studios, really
good circle. Good circle.
It's cool. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to
great
see
hire. Good job, Mike.
What Mike does with it. And this is the type of stuff that's important for the future of MetaZoo. Because if stuff like this doesn't work, then it's just like, what is the IP? What is the brand? What is the whole thing? So I'm glad he's choosing a studio that seems to really know what they're doing. Josh, you look like you have something to say.
No, I agree. As far as the IP goes, shorts was the, I think, best possible outcome. I want to see it come to fruition. I don't want to keep just hearing steps. I want to see it come to fruition.
This stuff takes a long time, though.
No, and that's why. Have you heard any criticisms? There's no criticisms being lobbed. Whoa!
Put in the comment section below who's more negative: Josh on MetaZoo or Louie on Magic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want them to fix the the product that we
put in
finally
the comment
agreed
section
is the
below
core central
who's more
product. You're
negative,
right.
Louis on Magic or Josh on MetaZoo. Put in the
I'm
comment
not
section
negative
below.
on Magic. I'm sad on Magic. Like, man, I'm just, like, at the end of the day, I'm sad.
Wow, we're going here.
How does it make you feel?
I'm sad on Magic. Like,
Do you think your mom is also sad about Magic?
No, my mom has absolutely no clue.
Okay, it always goes back to the mom and therapies, right? I'm therapying him.
That's just your therapy, apparently. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll do a patron exclusive George's therapy next week. No, super stoked that you guys were
It'll be
here.
great. It'll be right before Christmas. That will be the Christmas gift you always wanted,
no.
Louis.
Josh had some really good ideas in our DMs about our Christmas episodes that I don't think I responded to. Josh, I really liked your ideas. Can you tell everybody what they are? What our next episodes are?
Oh my god.
I think we have an awesome opportunity as a podcast. We have a show that comes out before Christmas, and we have a show that comes out right before New Year's Eve. So a couple topics I think we're going to touch on next week for our Christmas special. I think everyone's going to dress up, right?
100%.
Right?
100%. Hoodie and a backwards hat.
You guys suck. You guys are Grinches.
We also have to
going
film it early because my mother-in-law doesn't have internet. No, I'm not kidding.
Okay. And we are going to talk about everything we want for Christmas when it comes to Magic the Gathering. We're going to dig deep. We're going to get pull on our list to Mark Rosewater and his very respectable aunt. And we are going to write down on our list everything we want from Magic the Gathering for Christmas.
And then for New Year's?
Oh, we're gonna do a ridiculous speculation episode. We're gonna get deep in the tank and get
I'm
banned
out.
from everything while we
I'm out.
speculate what the next year is gonna be like. I am pumped for those two. I
I
got
will
nothing to
only
get banned
speculate
from.
on the
Let's
print
do
run of
this.
Magic.
Good. It's going to be a bunch of fun. Everyone, make sure you hit subscribe and hit the like button and comment what your favorite...
Who's more negative, Josh on
worst-
MetaZoo or Louis on Magic?
In the comment section, we appreciate you. Hit that share button, share it with some friends. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and may the zoo be with you.
And also with you.
Thank you.